What's going on, you crazy motherfuckers? Had to open up like that because, I don't know, Valentine's Day just went by and you got to be a nutcase if you made it through that. On top of that, I had an amazing weekend. Big shout out to my close friend, Elvin Espinosa. He had a huge win this weekend at PFL. He was the main event Friday night, February 17th. He won his Challenger Series ticket, and I'm very proud of you, and that's what I got to start off this podcast with. Aside from that, I got a great homegirl of mine that's here today, blessing us today. I reached out to her. She's got this great career that she's chasing, and I've never really known much about it. You're in this dance. I don't want to insult you guys and say career. I mean, because I know you're gonna elaborate on everything as you do, but it definitely got my attention because of what you guys do, the demand on what it is to be a dancer, and I wanted to know, as a dancer, how do you get into that? Where is it that where it goes to next? How do you balance certain things in life? Because I know relationships are hard to balance as a dancer. It's already hard to balance as a beautiful girl. But here we are today, Jasmine Garcia. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here, hon. So let's get right off on that note right there. So first of all, so that we don't sound lame, if somebody would ask you, hey, what do you do? How do you describe that? Do you say I am a professional dancer, or I dance in X, Y, and Z? How do you say that? What do you do?
Yeah, so the title for me is, I always say, hey, I'm a professional dancer. And it can mean a lot of different things for other people. So I get it all the time where they're like, dancer, what does that mean? And I'm like, okay, like here living in Miami, like I already know where your head is at. Unfortunately, it comes literally in the territory. So I always have a follow-up for it. I'm like, oh, hi. So yeah, I'm a professional dancer. Yes, I do. I dance with artists in music videos, artist performances, basically on stage, whatever they need them for, whatever they need dancers for, professional dancers with choreography. So it kind of puts their head right where I need it to be. You know what I mean? Because other than that, I've learned along the lines, I've gotten it too many times where I tell them, hey, I'm a professional dancer. And there's always a follow-up of, what do you mean? Does that
bother you to this day? Or are you like over it already because it's just expected kind of?
No, at the end of the day, I can't control what goes on in people's mind. That comes with them. But I understand that it does come with a territory when someone asks me, what do I do? Like, okay, I'm a professional dancer. I've learned how to answer because I cannot control what other people think.
Before we get these details that I'm very intrigued to hear, would you immediately say that dancing is tough? That career is tough? It's passionate as fuck, obviously. You guys love what you do it great. But it looks like a very tough career to it seems like if it wasn't for the passion, kind of like teachers. Like teachers, they complain about the pay. It's so fucking difficult to do what they do, but they love it. They love to help people. Yeah. And they know that even though they're not reaching out to everyone in the class, 2 or 3 of them,
it makes their day.
Right.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Would you say it's a very difficult career to get into, or at least to go far with?
I would say the skill in general is demanding. Like itself, it's tough. You constantly have to be, you're athletic, you're an athlete. You constantly have to be working your craft. So along with that, it's, okay, not only being skilled, but now how creative can you get with your skill? So that way you don't have to be doing other things. And what I mean by that is because I was living a double life for a long time where my passion has always been dance. But let's say for me, I was doing healthcare as well. And I was living a double life for a long time. So once I finally went full force into dance, I now thought, oh my gosh, I have so much time on my hands. Yeah, I'm going to take dance classes. I'm going to work on my skill. But now I have so much time to do other things. Like, how creative can I get with my time?
So you were pulled thin in the beginning. Like, let's back it up a little bit. So did healthcare come first, or helping people come first, or was dancing your passion, but then somehow parental guidance said, hey, you're not going to go nowhere with that. Let's get you into the healthcare industry. Yes?
That's exactly what happened. So I grew up with rhythm. Ever since I was little, I love to dance. When you put a camera on me, I was always dancing. And my mom put me as far as maybe putting me in a ballet class and in belly dancing. And that was it. So I wasn't a studio baby growing up. She knows this. I've had this conversation with her a lot of times. Like, it's out in the open. I'm not the only one with this story that, like, your parents don't really support you when you have that dream, because they don't see your dreams. Obviously, it's yours. So when I was little, she put me in belly dancing classes, in ballet classes, and that's as far as it went. I hit middle school. I made it into the middle school dance team. I fell in love with being on a team, having that discipline, just growing as a dancer and getting that training. I loved it, and being around other people that saw eye to eye to me along with that craft. And then in high school, I was also on my dance team as well. And then after high school, my parents kind of guided me the same way. They said, so are you going to keep dancing? And I was like, I would love to. And they're like, no, you're going to go to college. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I went to college, university. I went as far as getting into healthcare because they said that you're going to make money in healthcare. Like if it's not a nurse or a doctor, you're going to find something in healthcare.
I mean, they're right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
they didn't push your passion, but what they were trying to guide you into
I understood
was
what they were coming from, but I wish they would have used that energy in what I loved. Because if I was in their perspective, at the end of the day,
that's
it's
what you would want to do, right?
That's what I would want to do for my kids. I would say, okay, it's fine that you love that, but go all in. You can make money, however, get creative. There's an abundance of money. It's abundant. It's just you need to find what works for you. You need to go all in. So I didn't have those parents that believed in me, and they didn't tell me to go all in that. They just said to go all in, but in healthcare.
Tell us a little bit about your parents. Now, sometimes when we have these type of parents, you're I'm going to jump the gun. Mm-hmm. You're Latina.
Of course. Okay. Cuban.
So both your parents are one's from Cuba, or they both are?
So they're both Cuban. And then from my mom's side, Little Deeper is in Palestine. So like Cuban Arabian.
Okay. So typically most Latinos are born with some kind of rhythm, and most Latinas know how to shake the hips, especially with their moms. Did your parents, are they fans of salsa? Did they do all that type of dancing and that kind of brought it out of you a little bit easier?
Yeah, so my dad, he's such a goofball. He had a lot of rhythm, and my parents actually don't dance traditional salsa. They can only dance salsa with each other. So I find that that's really cute. They have their own own flow. But my dad is the rhythm master. He's the goofball, but it just comes from his heart. Like he dances from his heart.
So they were supportive, obviously, in the beginning. They knew you had that little bit
with
in
what?
You. With dancing.
No, they were
not even in the beginning. Not even as a youngster.
No, they just saw it as oh, that's cute. Look what she's doing. That's great. They didn't see anything from it. So even
I can't lie to you. I would be the same. I would
you know
be
what
like,
I mean? Like
I would be like, man, I don't want my baby shaking her ass. I don't care how good she is at it. No, like it would bother me as a dad. It would. And I get it, and I'm glad you have chased it and you are where you're at with it. But man, as that dad, my little girl better look like she's ugly. If she's ugly, I'll be like, all right, girl, you ain't gonna have no friends. You better dance.
You are not getting into
but
modeling.
If she's pretty, I'm gonna be like, no, I don't want her dancing.
No.
Everybody's gonna be looking at her. No.
It's also that like limited mindset, because they don't. If at the end of the day, if you're trying to protect me from dance, it's because you see dance in one way. So if you see dance as shaking my ass, but at the end of the day, dance is movement. Dance is how dance is how you interpret like an emotion, a movement, how you want to portray your art. So I found that as I got older, because even when I was younger, instead of having them be like, hey, you should explore this, you should maybe not just shake your ass, maybe there's something else, they just automatically just stopped it and didn't see anything further than that. They saw what they saw, they didn't like it, and that was it. So I couldn't even expand past that until I got older.
You're 26 now. Mm-hmm. When did they start showing those signs
of
that you think you remember where it was like, they don't want me to keep going with this? Was it right before college? Was it as you graduated?
Oh no, this was throughout my whole life. Like
I thought they were accepting it, but not saying much. No, they were never encouraging. They were just like, hey,
never.
She's still dancing.
No. So, even when I was in, like I was saying, I was in my middle school dance team and my high school dance team, and in my middle school dance team, like the first year that I was in my dance team, just in dance term, I'm a lefty, so I could do a left split easier than I could do my right split. Okay. And in a dance show, when I was in like 7th grade, we did a kick line and we did a jump into a split, and at that point, I ripped I tore like my hamstring like in the back. We went to the
jumping into a split.
Jumping into the split. It was cold. I didn't warm up.
Right.
I was young. I didn't really know better, and jumped into the split. I hurt myself, and Mama Bear went in to protect me. She went into the office with the principal and my dance teacher, and she's like, she got hurt. That means she can't dance anymore. That's it. I'm out. And I looked at her like, oh, this was your plan? Like, you're trying to get me out of this? I was like, no. Just because I got hurt doesn't mean I give up. So I I didn't even know what I was doing then. What I was doing basically was like I was living through my passion. I was literally looking at everyone and I was like, I don't care what you say, this is what I want to do. And from a young age, I was like that. And I'm actually thankful that my mom was like that, because she helped instill that quality in me. Like, in other terms, if I never had my mom be like that, who knows if I never had that quality in me today. So where I can look at somebody and they can say, you can't do that, I'm look at them and be like, bet I'm going after it because I want it. So that was instilled for me from very young because of the love of dance.
Let me ask you if this is slightly comparable. Okay, slightly. Wrestlers, high school wrestlers, collegiate wrestlers, no matter how good they are, obviously they want to get a academic scholarship. I'm sorry, sports scholarship. Once that scholarship is over, an athletic scholarship is over, it's now like, all right, let's say I'm the baddest motherfucker in wrestling. I've won all kind of championships. There's not much more at all after that. The only two things you can pretty much transition into is start learning jiu-jitsu or MMA and go into MMA. Because as a wrestling background, especially a good wrestler, you're already leaps and bounds in front of the most of people. But the only other thing, and it really isn't about your wrestling skills, it's just, can you be charismatic? Can you fake a personality? Is WWE shit. That's it. So no matter how passionate, how good you are at that, most wrestlers know, fuck, this is going to end up short. There's no real career after this, because it's going to be tough. Am I going to love it? Can I start coaching? Yeah. But if you're looking at from like, well, where would I be living in regards to like, what am I making? This and that. Did you think about those things? Is that one of the struggles with dancing? Because I see dancers, and no matter what level you get to, I'm like, man, they don't get enough, props or credit for what they do. They're part of the biggest part of many shows, videos, things of that nature. It wouldn't be whoever the artist is. I don't want to say Bad Bunny, but whoever it is, they would not look that good if they didn't have these awesome dancers doing this and that. But did you ever look at it where it's like, well, damn, is this going to be a short life? Or did you start looking at past that because you're only 26? Or did it kind of re-lit up in you and you're like, you know what, let me ride it out for now because I know this is where my passion's at, and then we'll go from there.
So, here, I have a story to get into from there. So, let's say after high school, I went and did my associates, my bachelor's, my master's in health management, because of course we had to do something in healthcare in order to get a degree and succeed. And I was very good at administrative work. I loved administration. So I did healthcare management, associates, bachelor's, master's. And then I was working in various hospitals, jumping from hospital to hospital. And then I finally, my last hospital job was at a cancer institute. And I even made my way up the ladder up to a supervisor position. And throughout all this time till I was 25 years old, I lived a double life. So I was dancing alongside doing healthcare. And once I finally left healthcare, I went full force into dance. But immediately, once I started dancing, I knew that there had to be more than this. That it's not just dance. Dancers do more. So you have to have other skills under your belt as well. Or if you don't have them, then what do you want to do and work on it? So for me, it's dancing, it's modeling, and it's also connecting people. I'm really good at connecting people. So it's also seeing that big picture where if you think of things short term, that's fine. But the reality is that life goes on and I'm not going to have my body forever. So at the same time,
depends how hard you work for it.
I was about to say, I'm going to work real hard. I'm going to be like J-Lo. I'm going to be like J-Lo. I'm going to be like,
exactly.
Like 50 years old, looking bomb. So do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But then what's going to happen at 60? What's going to happen at 70?
You're not going to be dancing no more. Though.
Okay, see? So I know that for myself too. So I'm going to maximize what I can do right now, but at the same time, supplement my other skills too. So if it's modeling, I'm going to work on modeling. If something happens to me while I'm dancing, I can model. I still have my look. I can do that. I can connect people. So another thing is I opened up my company where I can connect people. I can connect dancers and choreographers to artists who need that to supplement their work. So that's basically what I'm doing now. It's not just dancing.
When did you think about that? When did your mind expand into you wanted to open up a business on that and start What would you call that? You're somewhat an agency of a sort?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say right now it's a company, and then I'm obviously, it just started. I'm really proud of it.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. You got to start somewhere. Congrats.
Yes. And we are going to be licensed and bonded soon. So soon it will be an official agency, but right now it's a company. While I grow it into an agency, but it's basically a business that I can work on to provide opportunity for other dancers and other choreographers to fulfill their dreams as well, through my skill, through connecting people, and having them just basically connect with artists, do what I've already done, So if once I've already lived the life and I've lived my dreams and I've danced everything I want, then here's the business that I can work on to make other dancers and other choreographers live out their dream as well.
Are you ready to tell your potential clients that they need to brace for impact when it comes to dancing for some of these people, some of these celebrities, some of these performers? School us on that a little bit. You have top-notch celebrities. You have, I don't even know I hate to say one's a bigger star than the other. We know that that is facts. There's no denying that. But dealing with these celebrities, and I don't know who's who, reggaeton, rapper, whatever, it's got to be a level of difficulty. What do you tell some young dancer who's, coming in and you're like, hey, you look good, you look the part, you dance great. I'm going to try to get you a gig, but this is what I need to get you ready for. What do you tell them?
I think that do you mean the skill or the environment? Because
more the environment, I would let's just assume the skill is there. Mm-hmm. They know, hey, follow what the choreographer tells you. Mm-hmm. But then what do you tell them? Get ready for this. Brace yourself for that. Do this with the money. Avoid that. What do you school them at?
So one of the things is not to get too comfortable, because the artist's team can always change their vision. And let's say if physically they're going for a specific look of dancers, and it doesn't matter like how you dance, the dancing is part of it. It's a specific look. If they want to change their look, you have to be ready from one day to the next and not have that job anymore. And it does happen where at the end of the day, our looks are very dependent on the vision of the artist. So one of the things is not getting too comfortable. And if you are, obviously be focused in what you're doing and be grateful for that moment with the artist. But if that were to ever to happen, what are you going to do while you're waiting for the next job? Right. And if you are in a position where you're like, I'm okay just chilling, props to you, that's fine. But I've found that as a creative, it's very hard to just stand still and not work on a project, not work on something creative, not fueling that creative energy, So I would always say, don't get too comfortable and be grateful for the moment.
Yeah, complacency is a motherfucker in any line of work. Mm-hmm. I just think more people need to realize more. Even again, I know I'm relating to fighters. Fighters, if they're active and they're not getting hurt, and they're active and they're good enough, they might fight 4 times a year, and that's a big might. That means you didn't get hurt and you're whooping ass and you're fighting once every 3 months. Realistically, 3 times a year. So your paycheck can't be that big, and you have to plan in between. Does that mean have a side job? I don't know. Does it? You gotta prep for those things until you hit those marquee fights and you're making that type of money. And I just wonder, like how does that happen for dancers? Because it has to be difficult. And on that note, like I don't want specific details, but how does that pay scale weirdly go? Like let's say, and I know you've danced with certain artists and you've done local and you've done a plethora of things, but where is that range of pay scale when it comes to like dancers who would travel with an artist? Does it depend on the fame of that artist? Does it depend on where you're going, or is it just a base pay no matter what?
So there are some regions that go off of base pay. So for example, like I'm familiar like within LA. And in LA, they usually have their rate set. They're pretty good on that. Here in Miami, we're still working on that. So right now, it kind of goes in brackets. So there's an artist bracket and then there's a dancer bracket. So you go from the dancer bracket all the way from I'm just starting to like a pro. And you have different brackets in and there in between. And the same thing with artists. Are you a local artist or are you a big time artist? And then there's far in between those artists as well. And it's just pretty much matching where you are as a dancer, honestly, giving yourself that self-assessment of where am I as a dancer? What do I deserve? What do I earn? And as an artist, okay, how much can we charge them? Are they a big time artist? Are they just starting off? If I'm a pro dancer, I'm gonna see what bracket I can dance with the artist. If I'm just starting, am I really gonna book that big artist right now? I still got a lot of work to do. And with that being said, I'm not gonna charge a local artist who I'm dancing with that big time artist because it doesn't make sense. So we're in different brackets right now. So it's just giving yourself that analysis of where you are in that bracket as a dancer, and then where that artist is in their life as well.
Do you guys have unions that help you with that, or not too popular?
Not in Miami, and LA, yes. So we're non-union.
And would you say that if you have the skill level, dancers should try to be ready to play, let's say, not B roles, but extra roles in movies?
So,
or is that uncommon?
In movies, so it also depends on the path that you want to take as a dancer. So, for example, when I was in healthcare and I wanted to dip my toes into actually doing music videos, one of the first things that I did was extra roles. So that's how I dipped my toes, knowing the environment, knowing the people there, connecting, like growing my network when I was younger, because I didn't give a lot of time to training because my time was in healthcare or going to school. So for dance was a hobby for a long time, but in the meantime, bro, I was doing a lot. I was living a literal double life. Imagine trying to build your network in the dance community, but at the same time living a whole different life in the daytime and going to school. Like I was spreading myself thin. But in that, yes, I was doing extra roles, building my network, and that's my path and how I started into that field of dancing. So that way, when I let go of healthcare, I already had my network. I already had like my safety net, because I already built it throughout the years. But not everybody.
I saw that recently you're starting to get a little bit more into modeling. I mean, I'm basing this off your Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, I'm seeing a lot more model, photo shoots and whatnot. Look great. Keep turning it up.
Thank you.
Was that suggested? Was that something that just hit you? Was that something you realized, you know what, no dancing gigs coming up, let me do this? Or were you realizing like, hey, I'm a little bit better than what I thought, let me start, doing this? Like, how did that come about where you started modeling a little bit more? And I'm totally jumping the gun. You're probably balancing both out. I'm not sure.
So I am balancing both out because at the end of the day, I am a person that I love to act. I love to play the part. So when I'm dancing, I can do that through movement, and you can really have people feel the emotion or feel the character that you're playing. And you can do the same thing in art, in modeling. So whether it's collaborating with different photographers that want to fit a specific vibe, or with a stylist that wants to style you in a way where it's like, this is the character that you fit. So I found that I'm really good at playing the character. And I also love being in front of the camera. And I feel like I look good in front of the camera. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna model. This is great.
Tell me you didn't have to fight. Oh no, tell me you did have to fight the temptations to do OnlyFans to some extent.
No,
Jazz, come on, Jazz. I know you got a boyfriend. I know you got a boyfriend who's listening right now, but it hasn't been that long. If it happened before him, come on, Jazz.
No, not at all. The only thought that crossed my mind with OnlyFans was I was like, yo.
Why can't you just dance on OnlyFans? Why's it gotta be,
No, you're absolutely right. Even Cardi B, she does like her behind the scenes in OnlyFans. But let me tell you, I'm also someone that I'm still trying to get my shit together in social media, that adding another account is just like overwhelming right now.
Right, yeah.
And it's a great way to monetize, sure. But I need to get my other social medias in order first before I start adding things to it. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Not doing OnlyFans, but
I mean, yeah, because it also comes with like the name. At the end of the day, if some people look at me like, oh, do you have OnlyFans? You already know where their head is at.
Of course, but they already do it when you say you're a dancer too.
And the same thing. So at the end of the day, it's like, what are you really asking me? Are you asking me, about subscription services, because if that's the case, I could do subscription services any other way. So there's Instagram right now. I can do a YouTube video on.
No, I asked you OnlyFans because that's where the fucking fame is at.
But you see what I mean? So it's like that OnlyFans associated to the way people see OnlyFans.
Right. Well,
I can do whatever I want with it.
Instagram is doing everything they can to keep up with TikTok, OnlyFans. You know, they did the Reels because of TikTok. They're doing the subscriptions because of OnlyFans. So one of those competitive things. I only ask you because, and I want to get into this next. You know it's coming. It has to be difficult to balance or even attempt a relationship with somebody. Has to be a strong man to be able to see his woman looking good, shaking that ass, dealing with artists, the Bad Bunnies or whatever the hell, whoever it is, modeling. You know, some guys are good with modeling, but they're not good with dancing. Some guys are good with dancing, not good with modeling. Some guys can't do any of it, or some guys are okay with all of it, including OnlyFans, but to an extent. So that's definitely something that I would like to touch up, because in your line of work, there has to be a certain level of difficulty when it comes to dating and trying to entertain something serious based upon the demands that you have and based upon, I don't want to say the insecurities, but just how difficult it'd be for a man to deal with his lady being so exposed and looked upon by the rest of the world.
Energy, focus, weight loss, recovery, all the things that you need to be able to live a very healthy and productive life. But what if we could be able to offer you all of these things in the comfort and convenience of your home? Flawless Mobile Wellness is the company that would be able to make all of those dreams come true. With enough energy and focus, all of your dreams will become a reality. We are here to serve.
Okay, so on that note, I think that's definitely anybody listening or watching would have to be curious about the difficulties of, and it can be on any side of the spectrum, females or males, the dating life. Takes a very strong man, one, just to have a good looking girlfriend, okay? And with all due respect, tell your boyfriend not to beat my ass. Because I can fight, motherfucker. You don't want this. I'm just cutting, buddy. Chill out. I can't fight, but no, chill out. You're a beautiful girl. You're a very beautiful girl. It's very difficult for a man to be so strong-minded and confident in himself and trustworthy enough in his lady that she's going to do all the right things, da-da-da. When you're a beautiful girl, even if you don't bend over the wrong way or fucking wear all the most, promiscuous shit or dance, you're still calling for attention just on natural beauty. So it takes a lot for a man to have to deal with that. And of course, I'm going to say vice versa, or maybe not, because maybe more women are like, hey, I love my man, he looks good. I don't know. It varies, but it has to be difficult. You dance, you deal with artists, you're modeling, you're skimpy, you're bikini, you're G-stringy, you're this, you're that, you're whatever. That's got to be fucking hard for a pill of a man to swallow. I don't want to put your man on that spotlight right now. We know that he's dealing with it, but how do you feel that type of situation is dealt with generally for women in your position? That way I don't put you in that spotlight nor him.
No, you're fine. But so I'm gonna ask you first. How would you feel?
I get butt naked. What happened?
No, what? No,
okay,
I said how would you feel? So if from your perspective, how would you feel like as a man?
I have a lot of confidence, but I think more so, I don't know if it's confidence. I think my easy way of saying shit is just hand the motherfucker the rope. They're going to hang themselves in some shape or form. They're going to hang themselves. So I don't have to be checking if the rope is hanging from the ceiling, if the stool is there. I don't have to, at some point, if it's in you, you're going to hang yourself. And I'm going to know that it's happening. People like to overlook things, they knew when they were getting cheated on, they knew when shit was going bad, they just knew. They just try to overlook it in the name of love, in the name of Jesus, in the name of whatever. But really, when you look back after shit hit the fan and you're done being depressed and fat and whatever the fuck else, you ask them, hey, keep it 100. Did you feel it coming? Did you sense it like it was there? 95% of the time, they'll say, yeah, they will. They sensed it. They just went against their gut feeling. So I feel like...
What are you talking about?
Because I would not go,
I don't know what you're talking about though. Like, what do you mean? Like,
why would I? If someone's gonna do something mischievous, if they're gonna cheat on you, if they're gonna act a certain way to draw the wrong attention, they're gonna do it no matter what.
No, that's what I'm saying. I just asked you how you would feel dating a dancer.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not gonna stress it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to stress it. If you're going to be a trifling ass, conniving chick,
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're doing. That comes with a person.
whether you're dancing, whether you're in a fucking
Right.
working in the stocks and bonds, it just doesn't matter. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I don't put a short leash on anybody. If anything, I let them run loose. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I will sniff it out when it happens. So it doesn't matter the profession. Now, is it a little bit more difficult if so on and so forth? If I'm speaking for other men, probably. For me, I'll be like, no, look at that. That's mine. Y'all motherfuckers can't touch that unless she's doing something behind my back, So I'm way more confident in that. That's very rare, though. What do you think?
And what if it's something you are not comfortable with, but in front of your face? Let's say, for example, you trust your lady. It's not a point of cheating. It's a matter of if you're comfortable with her environment or not. So let's say she is dancing with an artist, and here in the Latin industry, it happens a lot where you have to get touchy with the artist. And again, the girls are just playing a character. At the end of the day, sex sells. It would be really weird if I am dancing with an artist and you're telling me to touch the artist, but then my face is like this. I'm not playing the part. I have to look like I'm into it. Would that bother you?
No, I'm signing up for that 100%.
Okay.
Period. No matter what. And if it bothered me or whoever's in that position, you literally signed up for it. That's the contract that you sign. You have to deal with that until that line of work is over with. If you're dating an actress, wouldn't you love to date an actress? My God, Jasmine Garcia, beautiful actress. Oh.
But that's
But
what it is.
now you got to do
acting.
But now you got to do a sex scene. Still acting. It's still acting. I don't even care. I know it sounds crazy, but I saw you kiss Ben Affleck. I don't give a fuck. Cha-ching.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
Baby, I know we kiss better than that. Well,
it comes with a perspective. At the end of the day, it's also knowing, number one, knowing who you're dating. Number two, knowing their environment and seeing how far that you're willing to go and in your confidence and if you're insecure or not. And at the end of the day, also understanding that what comes with the role. So as a dancer, it's the role that I have to play when I'm acting. At the end of the day, I'm not doing this because I want to and I feel something.
Right.
It looks like I feel something because I need to play the part to the audience.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think it would be even a little ungrateful on my part if I have the opportunity to dance with an artist in front of their fans here, and their fans are looking at me and being like, oh my God, I wish I was her. But then I'm out here not enjoying myself.
Right.
Like that's ungrateful. Because here I am having the opportunity where a fan would, because at the end of the day, that's what you're selling. You're selling the opportunity. You're selling the eye candy. You're selling that vision. But I don't want you. I don't want that. This is what we need to sell. This is what's going to, at the end of the day, it's a business. This is what's going to generate the business.
So let me play a hardcore devil's advocate now, right? There's a good way to go into this. So what if it was OnlyFans on the level of showing shit, but not doing anything with anybody? Do you think, I know it, I don't want to turn the tables on you because I think it's going to be way easier to be like, I don't mind, whatever. Two, you're probably going to say whatever it is because you're in the smallest waveform on the opposite side of this.
Yeah.
But do you think that that's acceptable? Do you think that a guy, I mean, I don't even like asking these questions, Jazz, because to me it's like, bro, you know what you're signing up for, or homegirl, you know what you're signing up for. As long as it's clear and uncut.
Right.
This is what I do. This is what you got to put up with. If you're very clear with it, and none of you cross that line of disrespecting what was agreed upon, then that's what you signed up for. Now, I do think that there's always one who's, I'll deal with it for this much. In the back of their mind, they're like, I'll make this stop soon enough. I
think it also comes along with the person, and if you, like, as my partner, see my vision. So at the end of the day, if my vision, if my long-term goal is to have the business, have the agency, and not be in front of the camera, it's not like my lifelong dream is I want to be in front of the camera forever, personally. So it's like at the end of the day, I'm also setting not only that expectation for myself, but for you as a partner that, okay, well, this is not forever. This is what I have to deal with right now. And at the end of the day, I respect that. If you can't deal with it, even for right now, that's fine. Go about your way. But I'm already setting the expectation for you that if we're going to have a long future together, at the end of the road, this is not what I want to do at the end. But that comes with me as a person too. This is just what I need to do in the meantime. And that principle can apply anywhere in life. So when you're doing a job you don't like, but you know that job's going to get you to where you want to be, you kind of have to get the short end of the stick in the meantime and just suck it up. you know? So that's one of those things where it's like right now I might have to dance with this artist, but to eventually get credentials to dance with the artist of my dreams, you know? So it's one of those things.
As much as I agree with you, and I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who do as well, don't you think that there's a lot of people out there abusing that same bullshit?
Which one?
That reasoning, when really they're just buying themselves time and they're not going to ever get out of a certain thing. Like
I don't think
I try to put myself in people's position where it's fearful to be like, okay, I've said this in the past. I'm not gonna call anybody out. Had a girl that I was talking to for a minute. She mentioned one of my podcasts and she says, "Oh, so you don't date bartenders, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, that's not my thing." Oh, okay. Oh, and she tried to throw it at me. I'm like, oh, why? Because you're a bartender, right? And then boom, here goes the conflict of interest. And I said, hey, I'm not saying you guys are bad people. I worked with y'all forever and a day. What I'm saying is I worked with y'all forever and a day. And that is a very difficult line of work to deal with. Not because you have temptations or guys are hitting on you. I don't mean that. I'm confident about that. If you bring enough confidence to the table and you're like, if I do everything right, love her, kiss her, fuck her, whatever the hell it is, I do it all right, you can't worry about her temptations. But what I mentioned was coming home late, waking up late, you know, while the rest of the world's moving. It's not a good lifestyle. And it doesn't work with somebody like myself who's very active, get up early. That was my main comparison, but she threw it at me. So I get that, you know, certain occupations, they're just difficult to deal with. But I think some people milk it. I think some people will be like, "Hey, this is what you signed up for," and they really don't look at. You're looking at it. You're a great example. You're talking about opening the agencies come in, and you're looking at a long road, and you're only 26. So those are great signs. Most young girls in your position would be like, "I'm gonna make it big. This is it. I'm gonna be fucking dancing with Michael Jackson, Drake, whatever." And then I don't care if you made it all the way to 35. Then what? I don't know how much you're making paid, but it can't be that much. You know, where are you at with it? So, do you see a lot of girls in your industry going through issues? I mean, right now you're doing good. You know, you've been with this dude for a year, but is it a common thing or is it more common where it's difficult?
I would say from the girls who have spoken to me, for the majority, it is difficult. And looking back, it's like, that's why I asked you, I'm like, how would you feel about it? Because it would be weird if a guy. I thought you were going to say because I got a single girlfriend. It would be. Oh, no. It's a joke. No, you're good. I would say it would be a little weird for being in my industry for my partner or like my potential partner or someone that I'm interested in and you're ready to like date me. I think it would be a little weird if you're 100% okay with it. I would think so. Even if I were to put myself in the shoes of a man, I would say, damn, in the back of my head, I'm like, yo, but that's my girl. Yeah, she's touching somebody else. But you also have to remind yourself of the intention. Your girl is not on stage doing this with an artist because she likes him. You know, she's doing it because it comes with the territory and she has something to sell. So you also have to remind yourself the intention. However, you don't really know that until you have those conversations. And how do those conversations occur? When it happens and then you flip and you go, oh, I just saw something I didn't like. Let me talk about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it would be weird for someone in the beginning not to be okay with it, you know? And if you are, a lot of the times this is what happens is what I found is that in the beginning you're just getting to know somebody and they might not really care much, but then the moment they really care for you as a person and they really get to know you,
that's where it backfires.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, no, now I have to see what's going on with this territory because this environment hasn't changed, but my feelings have. So now I need to have a conversation about this because I need to let you know I'm either A, not okay with this and we can't let it ride, or B, help me be okay with this. You know, and then at that point, as a couple, as a partner in your relationship, it's having that conversation of, I understand you. This is what I'm doing now, but this is my future. Can you see that? Okay, yeah. And then we can talk about it 10,000 times. It doesn't matter how many conversations we have, but at the end of the day, it's like if I'm seeing a future with you in the long run, I don't care how many conversations we have to have about that. I want to make sure, number one, you're good along the road, and number two, I know for myself this is not where I want to be forever. Like, I have somewhere to go. This is just what I'm doing right now.
Well, I think the great thing that you just highlighted, with everything you just said and suggested, it was pretty much all you were saying was just communicate your ass off. Just communicate, motherfucker. Communicate. Let it all out. And once enough time has passed by, communicate some more.
There you go.
Because you know that feelings get deeper.
That's fine.
Things change, whatever. Hey, are we still good? You understand? I'm still going to go with this for a couple more, whatever it is, So communication is so key and evidently doesn't happen enough. Now, on that note, I'm not asking about you and your man specifically, but Valentine's Day just passed, right? So I got a couple of friends. They got a podcast. Shout out to my boys from the Coffee Breakup.
Hey.
They've had these females on there, and I damn near want to punch them all in the mouth. Ladies, I don't hit women unless we're sparring. But a lot of them say things, and I'm just like, oh God, this, and I don't want to go too crazy deep into it, but we've been taking a big turn on this whole women's equality, man, LGBTQ, XYZ, whatever the fuck else is on there, and all this. Okay, well, we're in a different generation now. What do you think is the approach? How do you think things should be, not just for a Valentine's, but when it comes to this dating scene? Let's start with Valentine's. If you're a couple, does it automatically fall on the man? Be honest. Are you that girl? Don't fucking hold back. You were raised by Cuban parents and all this. Are you that girl? If you're not, then when was the last time you paid for a fucking Valentine's? 1. 2, when it comes to this dating scene, again, you're good with your man right now. Every scenario is differently, but generally speaking, do you think men are supposed to pay for the first date? How does that work? Is that, dancers are used to being around celebrities, producers, being called upon. Most of them are beautiful, blah, 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 blah. Is there a request, their bar set too high?
It's not that it's not difficult for me to answer that, but it's difficult for me to answer for the majority because my answer, it's just different than the majority.
It's respected, yeah, no doubt.
At the end of the day, I'll only accept where my intentions are. So for example, if it's a first date and like you're trying to pursue me and we're going to go on a date, and at the end of it, let's say I don't like how the date went, you're not paying for me. I will pay for myself. I don't even know. I don't even care what I get out of it. It's not even a free meal. I don't want to give you the impression that it went well. That's me. But a lot of people are different. A lot of people,
interesting. I like that.
what I mean?
That concept. I like that.
Yeah. So it's like, why would I make you think that things are okay if I'm like, you know what, I'll pay for myself. No, I'll pay for you. I will. You're good. It's fine.
But what about the countless amount of women who are like, man, this ain't going nowhere. Let that motherfucker pay for it.
But there you go. But there are some women too that they're like, hey, you know what? Look,
so you don't think there's a rule of thumb as to like who asked first, or if it's a first date, it's automatic?
No, I think when you sway yourself off of the majority of society, you're at the mercy of being A, the majority, and B, swayed into things. So it's literally being very intentional with who you are as a person and what you do. And I have learned that the hard way, because a lot of the things that I've maybe have done in the past where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna let it ride because it's like this, it's actually bitten me in the ass. So if there's any advice that I can give, is just live intentional. Like really pay attention to the moves that you're making. Yeah.
Live intentional. What if your intent was not evil, but it wasn't in favor of the person in front of you?
You have to also...
And I'm totally being a dickhead, devil's advocate right now.
No, you're fine. You also have to be in tune with reality, that just because you don't see it one way, there is a two-party thing, and you also have to put yourself in the other person's shoes and think how they're going to interpret it. Or at the end of the day, there's a fine line between not giving a fuck about what people think and being intentional with what you do, because you know they're going to take it the wrong way, or there's a possibility that they might. So you also need to be clear with your intentions. You know what I mean? So I think it's finding a fine line between that.
Have you ever encouraged any of your girlfriends to do something out of character for their man on Valentine's? Because to this day, all the homies that I got, all the brethren that I've known, I've yet to hear the story of man, I did not expect this girl that I'm dating or my girlfriend of 2 years or my wife. I don't hear the woman doing anything out of box for the man on Valentine's. Yeah, I'm not talking about a fucking gift. I'm talking about
no.
Give me the rose petals and all that dumb shit in any way, shape, or form. You don't hear about that. And I guess nowadays I'm a little bit, tad bit, I'm not that guy, but I'm a little bit agitated nowadays because there's so many women expecting and there's so many women arguing for more women empowerment. I'm for women empowerment. I want y'all to feel like, yo, we are even Steven, even though it's still to an extent because we're never full-blown even Steven. But if we're on that type of even Steven, where are the women appreciating great men? And what should they do? Because I don't see it. I don't hear about it. I haven't been taken out on a date, and I feel like I'm a great guy. Fuck y'all. But it's one of those things, and especially the guys that I know who are dating, it's like I don't hear this just, wow, man, my girl did this, or, I've been dating this girl for 3 months, and look what she did. Like, you don't hear about that. What's your take on that?
So let's say if I was putting myself in a man's shoes, and because at the end of the day, a man really holds down his ground as a man, and the impression that other men have on him. You don't really see a man bragging about when his girl showers him, do you? So it's not saying that it doesn't happen. It's saying that not a lot of men put it out there. And at the end of the day, it's your business. Some women
Are you telling me it happens more than what guys are admitting?
Absolutely. Are you kidding? I'm the type of girl that I'm like, I love showering my man. I love it. But at the end of the day, I also don't care if other people know it or not.
I'm about to find your man on Instagram and be like, how many times does she do something out of pocket? Come on. Well, I believe you, but I don't think it happens enough, and that type of shit bothers me. I feel like, if you guys are really, you want things to go to a different level, well, then show your good man that you think he's a great man and you appreciate it.
I agree. Oh my gosh, I agree. I love like gift giving. Like I that's just for me. It doesn't matter if it's Valentine's, it's your birthday or this. Si me salió, like I need to shower you with whatever it is at this moment. If I saw something at the mall, oh my God, this made me think of you. Like I'm that person to bring it. Like I'm that person to get it. Again, it's also knowing your partner. At the end of the day, if let's say this is like an example, far and few in between, but let's say it all comes with also knowing who you're dating and knowing your partner. Because if you know your partner doesn't like receiving gifts, then it feels really shitty when they don't.
They're not somebody who's
when they're
good
not
with
someone
that.
who's receptive to it. Number one, and number two, it's kind of like the intention was there, but you don't also like. Let's say, for example, if that was my type of relationship where my man doesn't like receiving gifts, I could just tell him, hey, I was about to get you this today. I thought of you. That's all. But I didn't because I know you don't like gifts. I know you don't. I respect that you don't like that. But I just thought of you and I was going to do this. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of like also knowing your partner too. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen,
Yeah, you're definitely right. I'm not going to say that guys are trying to hold back on that. I just, even with close friends, I haven't heard that enough. And again, typically you just hear I'm following a few people on YouTube. I never woman bash or get on that feminist train or any of that. Everybody's entitled to their shit. But man, I can't lie to you that I do love when some of these women get put on the spot and it's just like, wow, you were just talking all that shit about a man, and when it got quickly reversed right there, and they don't even. But unfortunately, a lot of men, I'm not trying to call you out. Unfortunately, a lot of them are your age, and when you're in your mid-20s into the late 20s. You might be a little bit advanced. You might be a little bit more mature, but you still got more to learn. So when I hear these women, young ladies say what they say, I laugh it off. But then it's also like scary and kind of aggravating. Like, man, you guys really think like that? Like, I know there's piece of shit people out there in both genders. I know that men have been carrying the torch more than women for a while, but goddamn, now they're passing the torch to each other. I'd rather see a nice even playing field. No one does anybody dirty. But the whole stigma of men are still supposed to do a certain amount of things, yet women want their independence, their this, their that. That I'm starting to get a little aggravated at that. Like, what do you want? What do you want? I've never had a woman open my door for me.
Oh no, I love it when my man opens the door for me.
I try to do it as often as possible, but
and if he ever to forget, I just stand there like, You gonna open this, right?
You see? But,
I mean, like,
but why can't you open it for him? Why can't you surprise him? That's what I'm saying. And you're a great girl, but
no, you know
how
what?
come that doesn't cross your mind?
No,
why
course,
not?
I never said it doesn't cross my mind. Of course it does.
Like if you're walking, okay, let's
imagine I were to open the door for my man. He's gonna look at me like, what did you just do?
No,
you know what I mean?
Okay, on. Yeah, he's gonna get dick's gonna get hard right there, and you might get some parking lot loving.
Why?
Listen, because my woman just went out of her way to break the norm and open up my door. Why? Because it happened to be that my door came up first. I don't know. It's just coincidental. Oh, she wanted to surprise me. Whatever it is,
those aren't my type of surprises. My type of surprises isn't over. No, my type of surprises isn't overstepping the line. When in the beginning of our relationship, again, this is coming back to knowing your person. In the beginning of the relationship, we just established that you like opening the door for me. Why am I going to, in a way, disrespect what you like doing for me? Because all of a sudden I wanted to do it for you when you've already established what you like. Why am I going to go against what we have already discussed? You know, and that's just a principle.
So if we talk in the beginning, because I'm that guy. Mm-hmm. Again, I love that you speak about a whole lot of communication. Communication is key. Yeah, it's key. There's no other better answer. Communication is key. If in the beginning relationship, I would be the type to be like, hey, I would love to open that door for you as often as possible. But there's just going to be times where I'm just not going to walk all the way around the fucking car to open up the door when you were going there first.
No, I wait.
Oh, see?
No, I wait. If you established, I will open up the door for you each time. I'm going to hold you accountable for that.
See, he said that?
No, I'm saying.
But did he do that? Now I want to fucking shoot arrows at him. Did your man say he's going to do that all the time?
I mean, if he said it, he didn't say it like aggressively. If he says it one time, I respect that.
He says, I like to open the door.
I mean,
or I'm going to do it every time.
If you communicate that to me, you've set the expectation. Why are you going to deviate from an expectation that you set?
But that's why I'm asking. Did he say he was going to do it every time?
Okay, so this is how it went. He would do it every single time, and let's say the one time I was going to go for it, he goes, don't do that again. I go, boom, that's it. That's all I needed. He didn't say, okay, no. I mean, I was about to, and then he's like, no. Every time, don't worry. I got the door for you.
You're a great girl. He's fucking shooting himself in the foot, though.
Why?
Because he's spoiling you.
I deserve
it. No, you don't, because you're going to expect that shit every fucking day moving forward until you guys get old and gray.
I mean, you set the expectations. I'm going to hold you accountable.
You know what? Listen, if that's what the fuck he wants to do, don't go against what you started. But, truth be told, it should just, hey, listen, I'll do it when I can as just a great gesture because I love you and always want to make life as smooth as possible for you, baby. But goddamn, you can do your own shit too if you can. And it'd be great if you remind me how awesome I am by trying to do something for me.
Not the door.
Not the door.
Not the door. The door, you
all right, plane's going to crash. Plane's going to crash. You guys are sitting beside each other. The mask come down.
We have a conversation right there.
The mask come down. What does he do?
Everybody should put their mask on them first.
No, he should open up his own fucking door first. What the hell? God damn it.
You hit it hard. You work out hard. But do you recover as hard as your exercises? Recovery is the number one thing that keeps most athletes from reaching the next level. Here at Flawless Mobile Wellness, we want to help you become the animal, the champion, the winner that you are. Recover right. Recover with Flawless Mobile Wellness.
Well, you know, relationships can be, they're fucking a Rubik's Cube, obviously, and everybody does it differently. And in no way, shape, or form, not that you feel like I am. I'm not coming at you and your man and whatever. Everybody has different formulas. I honestly feel, and we can move on from this, but I just think that when you're not stimulated, you're standing still. It's kind of like, when does water go bad? When do mosquitoes and amoebas come around? Well, when you got water that's sitting still and it gets warm, that's when you have a bacteria. Mm-hmm. So if you're sitting still, if you're not moving, it's not good. You got to stay moving. You got to stay productive. I get it, in regards to women or men who get pampered in some shape or way, and they like that. And I'm not against that at all. I try to be a host every time I'm with anybody. If you're coming to my house, whether you're my girlfriend, my friends, a client, whoever it is, I'm trying to make it like mom. This is mom's cooking. This is mom's grandma's house and all that good stuff. AC turned on with a fucking vengeance right now. Huh? So I get that. It's just one of those things where, hey, I just wish women would be, I think that you would get a lot more from men in a positive way, positive reaction, except the ones who are too machismo. If you women, whenever it comes out, will just try to spontaneously make moves, spontaneously take them out, spontaneously buy that beer, spontaneously pop up with a little small gift, not some fucking Jordans, not like, no, just that type of stuff. I think men start thinking, okay, all right, you're different. Because the majority of them think, but you
What's
said
for
it,
me,
but you said excellently, when you communicate with your significant other, it's different. When you understand, yes. So you nailed it on that, and by all means, you and your man have a great communication, and that's key. So congratulations on that. But when you don't do that well enough, there's this gray area. And I know that men are over here like, man, she hasn't done this.
Because at the end of the day, it's like if you haven't set the expectations and you're expecting something, how can you expect something that hasn't been set or talked about, you know?
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure, you know? So you expect to get something out of somebody when you never even had that discussion, you know? So I just think you need to talk about it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, the best advice that you haven't even given it, the foundation that you've been talking about unintentionally
the whole time
is communication. And it's true. I live and die by that, and that's just any and every relationship. Make it clear what it is you're talking about, what the expectations are, what can you deal with, so on and so forth. And you know, and by the way, not for anything, but best wishes to you guys, but you're only a year in. We'll get a follow-up podcast and see what's going on there in another year or so.
For sure.
I mean, so on that note, I'm going to assume by now you guys flirted with what about with the little ones, the kids? Kids, because you know when those little fucking Kremlins come out of your goddamn stomach, it can change your whole world. When would you like to have them?
Personally, within the next 5 to 7 years, just because as a dancer,
it's a good time. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So I'm 26 now. I'm thinking like early 30s for me. I wanna live my dreams for the next couple of years and maximize and hit all of my goals and do everything I can with the body that I have now, because I know my body is not forever. And especially after kids, like there is a change in my body too. And it's not to say that I can't do anything after I have kids. It's just I also have a vision of myself that after I have kids, my dancing will stop, because I want to be there for my kids more. And I commend all the dance moms out there who have kids and keep going. At the end of the day, it's your path, it's your choice, it's your decision. My decision is that when I have kids, I don't want to keep dancing. So I want to maximize everything I can do now until I have kids. But obviously dance is in my heart, so that's another reason why I opened up the agency, because once I do have kids, I still want to be in the dance world. I still want to give other opportunities to other people. My network of people will still be there. So although I won't be dancing directly, here are some dancers and choreographers that I can connect you with, so that way it can keep going and I can still be involved, you know, in that world.
Listen, when you have kids, your dance is going to be at a 3-year-old's party. Okay, understand?
As I'm holding
exactly.
a newborn.
You're gonna have the hippest, brand newest baby toting book bag. Because I saw some book bags now where they kind of like sit on your waist, like it just so it doesn't get people tired of holding.
Your arms.
So a great invention, by the way. But. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun and games to hear all that, you know, lovey-dovey mommy shit. But when them little fuckers come out, woo! By the way, on that note, you guys get ready. I got the FTK apparel coming out. FTK, yes, you guys know what that stands for.
What does that stand for?
What do you think it stands for?
For the kids?
Fuck them kids.
Oh.
That's right, goddammit, you heard it. Don't steal my shit. I already got it locked down. It's already being copywritten. FTK coming out. Fuck them kids. Fuck those kids. Fuck these kids. It's coming out. Y'all stay tuned on it.
Kids are the future.
I love listen, Jazz. Honestly, Jazz, I love kids. This weekend, aside from my guy Elvin kicking ass and doing this thing, I got to visit some friends of mine in Orlando. One of my boys has 2 kids. His daughter's 4. And his son is 8 months old. And he hasn't been able to see me with his kids like that in forever. I've only seen him really quick, and they were like, oh, and I'm like, oh, fuck y'all. You know, one of those things. But now his daughter was a lot more open to me because she's older. So he saw me doing uncle duties, and I was just killing it because I'm an amazing uncle. I'm an amazing parental figure until I'm overweight, and then it's just like, all right, take these motherfuckers back. Take it back. You guys got to deal with that. The rest is on you guys. You guys signed up for that, not me. But with that said, have you and your man talked about this? Not like you guys are gonna have them, but if you did, when would it be? You know, those are that. Because communication, you gotta spill those beans out in the beginning. I mean, or do you disagree?
No, at the end of the day, it's however the pace that you want to take your relationship. At the end of the day, some people can be a year, 2 years in and have never talked about it. Because you're asking about my relationship, we have talked about it, but obviously we're also in the understanding of the reality that although we envision our future together and we envision kids and this is what we have a vision for our relationship, the reality is that we're still in the now, you know, and it's what we do today and what we do now in our relationship that can either help or hurt us and lead us to that vision. And that same principle is literally with whatever you do in life. So if you if you envision yourself in the future in a specific way, it's what are you doing today that's going to either, like you said, move you forward or move you backwards. So if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. And it's the 100%. It's the same thing with anything in life. So, and that also goes hand in hand with being intentional about your movements. So what we're doing right now, this podcast, is this going to move us forward or is this going to move us back? Right. Anything we do after this is going to move us forward. So it's literally being intentional with anything that you do in your life. Right. So going back to that, yeah, we did have this discussion of kids, but also keeping in mind of, all right, we have this vision that we want to be with each other, but understand what are we going to do today that's going to get us there. And not only that, it's not only moving us towards that future, we also have to understand that we're ever changing, we're ever evolving. So if at any point him and I, our paths don't align anymore, like having that discussion again, reevaluating and saying, do we still want this? Okay, and then going forward from there, you know, because it's going to get to a point where that's when things can get a little toxic, where you both maybe have talked about, or yourself, one person, but let's say you both talked about a future together, and then things happen along the road where it's not okay, where boundaries have been crossed, respect has been lost, and then at that point, you're going to stay in the relationship because you envisioned kids and a future with this person? Right. No, at that point, make a decision. Are you okay with this? Are you going to fix this? Don't think of, I'm going to accept this because of the future. Are you going to accept it right now and then go from there? And then your future can and will change. I think
what happens more often than not is not, let me accept this because we talked about a bright future. Mm-hmm. I think it's more so what happens more commonly is like, fuck, we already been through this much.
Mm-hmm. I don't care about that.
Might as well, tough it out a little bit.
I'm actually not that type of person. Prior to this relationship, I was actually in a relationship for 6 years, and I was engaged to him as well. And it didn't matter how many years we were down the line. We had our differences, right. And I left the relationship, and it didn't matter if we had thought of a future and 6 months and kids, and we were 6 years in, and we were engaged. It didn't matter to me. It got to a point where you're just not ambitious enough. Like you're not doing things today that's going to propel us forward. And also the life that I am currently living, you are not happy with, and I'm not going to stop my life because you're not happy with it. So we don't see eye to eye anymore, and we're growing apart rather than growing together and forward. So I honestly, time is nothing for me.
Have you ever been told by, when I say a veteran, I mean somebody just a little bit older than you, maybe 28-year-old who's been doing it a little bit longer. Could be older, but whatever. Just somebody who's been doing a little bit longer. Hey, Jazz, listen, girl. Don't you ever fucking entertain none of this shit. I don't care what these men tell you. They think they can hang until a titty falls out. Then they can't. Whatever. Have you gotten that type of feedback from somebody who's been doing it longer than you? Like, hey, girl, I'm glad that you got good intentions, but it's tough.
In a relationship, where like the
while you're balancing out, this dance life.
Not personally, not
like I tell fighters all the time. I tell fighters all the time. Hey, listen, man. If what seems to be like some true, lovey-dovey ordeal falls in your lap, cool, entertain it. Don't be a duck. Don't be an idiot. Don't be blind. If all those things are not there, entertain it. I'm okay with it. I don't want to give people the wrong idea whenever I say the shit that I say on my podcast, but I'm all about love. It's great to entertain love. It's great to be in love, but be realistic in regards to the expectations, the setting, the circumstances, and it's like, well, hey, with that put in perspective, have you been in a position or would you know?
I think I am that example. So I haven't heard it from other people. If anything, a lot of people reach out to me for a lot of dancers reach out to me for advice in that case, because that's what happened to me in my last relationship where dance took its course. Somebody was not okay with me doing dance the way it was going, and because I was hitting my goals and getting after all of these things, and my new environment now bothered him. But I had told him from the beginning of our relationship, where I'm like, this is what I always wanted. Just because it came to fruition, and first of all, that means you didn't really believe in me.
So there you go. So the common sense is most people in this situation is like, it's not that they don't believe in you, but they're like, I can deal with this for now.
And that's what I'm saying.
But
it's
if
like
it ever
when
got
we
to
get
that
there,
point,
right? So it was getting to a point where, but also, I warned you, like I gave you the heads up. You're my partner, and I was clear about my vision.
We had a verbal contract.
I told you now, if it's coming to that point where you're not okay with where I'm at, we go our separate ways. But you know where I was headed. You know it, because I told you. And it's very shitty when now my own partner didn't believe that. Right. When we could have had a conversation in the past where it's like, hey, when I make it, because I will, how would you feel? Or how do you think you would feel? Maybe you don't know how you're going to feel because it's not actually happening, but envision yourself. Put yourself in those shoes. Can we talk about this? No, we can't. Okay, I respect that. We'll revisit when it actually happens. And it did, and he couldn't handle it, and that's it. We went our separate ways.
So there's a lot of variables to that type of situation. And I think that's good that you guys went that way, what seems somewhat cordially, depending. It might be some drama. It's going to happen, a lot of love, a lot of years put into it, whatever. But going back to the example of what I tell fighters, I don't tell them, hey, don't entertain a relationship. What I tell them is, and again, is based upon that fighter and how serious he is into the fight game. Are you just fighting just because you like to fight and the fights pop up here and there? Or are you truly trying to make a career out of this? If you're making a career out of this, I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how you've only been a year with her 2 years ago. That sounds like a lot, 2 years. A fighter deals with more emotions than you fucking women do on your periods. A fighter's cutting weight. He's hangry all the time. He this, he that. He comes home beat up, tired, sore. He probably he should be giving his woman some sex and some fucking TLC or whatever, but he's just exhausted. Body's just all kind of whatever from 3 days of training. Very difficult for that woman or that young lady to accept that, know that, and be like, oh, my baby, don't worry about it. That's the guy. So when I talk to fighters, I tell them, hey, I'm not saying don't entertain the relationship, but you need to tell her the ins and outs of this shit.
Yeah, setting like expectations.
Yeah, how you get cranky, how tired, how beat up, how whatever. The same way if a woman has bad cramps or has a bad, when you're like, hey, when my period hits me, I'm very bad.
Right.
Please give me the heads up. Don't just tell me when my period hits me, get ready. Give me the heads up.
Even at the end of the day, there's no heads up. The advice that I always give is that when the moment comes, have that conversation to understand each other. And if your partner still doesn't understand that, then at least have the patience to give them their moment, and then when you figure it out, we'll talk about it. But it's also having a lot of patience when it comes to that, because it goes back to like, just because you set that expectation of, oh, I can't wait till he gets home because we're gonna make love, and then he comes back tired. It's like at the end of the day, you set that expectation on yourself. How are you upset about him? So it's also pulling back on your expectations, being like, this is the reality of the situation. It's not about me. It's about us in the relationship. He feels like this right now. Pull back. Have patience. So
I think that's great advice. But I'm also going to turn it right back on the guy, and I'm going to tell the guy, how clear were you about, hey, babe, I don't just come home tired. I come, there might be 4 days you don't get sex.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not in the mood. I'm just fucking exhausted. Every bit of testosterone that I had, I just used. And that's the only example I got on the fellas, because I tell them, hey, should you be entertaining that if this girl doesn't give 3 shits about MMA, never seen a fight in her life, doesn't care to see you get hurt, doesn't even like to go to your fights because, she gets squeamish, I'm going to say no, get the fuck out of that relationship.
I would say
get out of that relationship.
It also comes with, like, at the end of the day, my advice would be, hey, make sure your partner is kind of like on the same page as you, in the sense of, like, if you're ambitious, it really helps if your partner's ambitious, because they're a little bit more understanding. When you go 4 days, let's say, with no sex or being busy, they get to understand too, like, trust me, I feel you, I've had a heck of a week. Like, that's the last thing on my mind right now. Because at the end of the day, it's like, this is going into another topic that we can, like, dive deep in, but it's also how intimate you are in your relationship, where it's like, is it just sex or is it intimacy? Because at the end of the day, it's like, we can have sex every day and it means nothing, or we can have sex one every 1 or 2 weeks,
it's dope,
and
phenomenal.
It's amazing, and I'm looking forward to it. So it's also like knowing your intimate relationship with your partner. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you've had 4 hard days. I don't expect sex out of this, because I don't expect sex because you came home. We're going to have sex when we both agree, when we both come, when we're both in tune and we're both ready for it. And let's say you haven't gotten there yet, like, damn, I kind of want to have sex right now, and you're not there yet. I am going to tell you, hey, I miss you. When are we going to have some?
Right.
Okay. Oh, hey, I haven't been feeling good.
Trying to spark it up.
Without
Too much crazy pressure.
Because I'm telling you, like, it all, what is the foundation of what I'm telling you?
Communication. That's it. That's been the key the whole time. But you're right. You're 100% right. That is key right there. Communication.
It is.
It is.
Really,
yeah.
It really is. And
Even
like
if it's on the
I can give.
And I think when it comes definitely to that sexual tip, unless someone's a little bit extra with the sex, they don't tend to communicate it enough. I mean, communication just in general is too seldom as it is, especially on the sex tip. Yeah, I agree with you. That's great advice coming from a 26-year-old, huh? Look at that, huh? She knows a little something. Coffee break up. There you go. Now you got a good one over here. You want to get some right advice over there. But no, I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a lot of difficulties behind trying to balance a relationship, and it gets weird when things are good. For some stupid reason, when things are good, it gets weird. It's like, oh, this is too good. This is too good. Something's gonna fuck up. What's going on?
Not for nothing, but I kind of appreciate when things are going tough, because in those tough moments, that's when you get stronger. So it's so in life, in that principle, when life is going easy, it's.
So I like that in life, but I do, but I like that in life, but not if shit's getting too tough in a relationship, I'm like, nah, what are we going through this for so early? I don't know about that. Well, I'm not saying that's what you're referring to.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all timing and it's all perspective. If you think it's too early for a fight, okay, but like, fights are inevitable. Fights are gonna happen forever. I mean, like, not even fights. I would say more like discussions, like your
debates, exactly.
hard discussions, hard conversations that you need to have. You know, at the end of the day, it's like through those moments is when your relationship gets stronger. So, for example, it's just a principle, like with self. So when things are going easy, it's chilling, it's life,
right?
It's mundane. But on those hard days, when you push through those hard days, the next day, don't you look back being like, damn, I did that?
Yep.
Even after I'm capable of anything.
Yep.
That's the same thing in a relationship. When you push through that hard time, when you get over that hump, you look back and you're like, yo, damn, we did that. We did that, and we're so much stronger. Like, that's with anything. You're not going to get stronger in the easy moments. You're going to get stronger in the hard moments.
I hate that I'm doing this right now. Oh, my God. I fucking hate myself right now, because I feel like I'm thinking about my brother. He does this all the time. I agree with you 1,000%. But only because of this particular example in regards to relationship references. I think that same thing could also bite you in the ass. Because I think that's what a lot of relationships do. They think, oh my God, we just made it through that bullshit where we almost killed each other, or he cheated on me, or I was tempted to cheat on him. Hold on, I know you're about to say.
I was like, that's not the type of
exactly. You're about to say,
but
but somebody listening will be like, you're right. I've been through some shit with my man too, and we need to look past that.
Oh no!
Except they beat each other up.
No. Like, no. Definitely not. It's definitely situational, which it all comes down to, as a person, what you're willing to take or not take, and then that person what they're willing to take or not take, and then talking about your boundaries and then making sure you respect those boundaries. Obviously, if they're like, one of my boundaries is literally, my boundary is I don't care how much you love me. Like I don't do breaks. I don't do breaks.
There's no temporary bullshit.
No, I don't do that. We're in this all in or out. Like, I don't do breaks. It's just something that comes with me. Why would you break up with a person? Because it got tough. So if we couldn't deal with this together,
at this moment, what about when? Yeah.
Then no, you're not gonna have me. You're not gonna have me when it's easy. That's personal preference.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I don't do breaks. I don't believe in breaks, and I don't deal with cheating. That's literally like,
hoorah.
That's
Good
it. Those
you.
are my boundaries. Is damn, I could love you till the earth ends and all the. It doesn't matter. That's my boundary. That's it. So it's also establishing your boundary too. Whatever that is, whether that's domestically violence, I don't know, whatever that
sexually,
is for you,
whatever, yeah,
whatever
exactly.
that
Set
is
the
for you,
boundaries.
is set your boundaries.
Draw
and
that line, don't let nobody pass it.
The moment it's crossed, just realize that if they come back, it's just that you just didn't respect your own boundary by letting someone else back in. That's it.
Speaking of boundaries, have you guys spoken about the possibilities of if you guys continue growing together and all that? How many fucking little munchkins? How many little life-ruining motherfuckers are you going to produce?
3.
Oh, my God. Definitely that body's done.
So I'm saying I got to think forward.
Look at the camera and let them know this is gone. This is gone in about 5-6 years. Gone.
I was about to say, there's some moms who have some hot bodies out there.
There is.
Because for me, like, my hips are like pretty like narrow, and I know, who knows, if like the moment I push out some babies, my hips are gonna be fucking phenomenal, and like I'm gonna have a different body shape. It happens. Women change.
I know.
But you know what I mean.
Of course,
like,
of course. Listen,
I'll still be a hot mama.
There's a few out there that genetically, like, fuck, that shit's just working against them. But very few. No, but I'm just saying, because the skin stress too much, or maybe they gain weight a lot easier. Whatever it is, I'm definitely not clowning on this. I'm being 100% serious. But I think for the most part, women, they take the wrong route on, I'm pregnant. I'm eating for 2. Give me. I'm eating for 2.
I think
I don't want to hear shit.
Yeah.
I want my fucking Reese's Pieces. Give me. And they're not thinking about the aftermath. I get it. You're going through shit that I would never fucking know. I can never experience it. I don't know why the smell of me makes you want to throw up. Why Reese's Pieces makes you come on yourself. Whatever it is, I get it. But we all know that watch your weight. Don't eat excessively. But whatever the parameters are, it seems like too often women are like, nah, I got a kid, I'm pregnant, this is what I'm gonna deal with, and that's that.
Yeah.
You gotta deal with it, and that's that.
So I can't speak of the actual pregnancy, because obviously I haven't been in that position. But what I can say is that your habits determine your daily life. So if you, at the end of the day, are someone who, let's say, eats healthy, works out, like, you could carry that through like your pregnancy.
Yeah, of course.
And even then
of
after.
Course. Yes.
So that's all I can say on that, because I haven't really been pregnant, and I don't know how it feels, and I don't know how the hormones are. So that's what I could say, is that before then it's just making
Have
sure
you ever
your
been
mindset.
severely constipated?
Yeah, actually, yes.
It's a joke. Wait a minute.
Oh, I was like, yeah, like, it's happened, of course. Oh my gosh.
Women never admit that,
Yeah,
as they should.
Yes, I am human and I shit.
Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to have more focus? Are you looking to boost your immune system? Or are you an athlete that is in pain and needs to recover to continue to crush your goals? Well, here at Flawless Mobile Wellness, we can help you out with every single one of those through the use of our vitamin infusions. Our preventative health services are as easy as calling us up, and we show up. Here at Flawless Mobile Wellness, your home is our office. Stay healthy with Flawless.
Needless to say, relationships are a motherfucker, no matter which way you approach them. I honestly, depending on your career, what you've been through in life, you know, your struggles, your shortcomings, your insecurities, all that, it's all going to play a role as to how you approach a relationship. But I'm always intrigued as to how people balance out certain careers with certain relationships. I'm also bothered by how people don't take in consideration enough how their career will affect the relationship. I think that's the biggest argument that I have. You're so focused on being so successful as whatever it is. We were talking about the homeboy off camera, Casey Chops. Shout out to my boy Casey Chops, amazing dude. We were talking about his choices,
Casey.
you know, and how he approaches being the man of the house. And yeah, it sounds great, Casey, but then if you expect to pay everything and do everything and you want your wife to be a stay-home wife with 2 kids, let's just do the math. It's a real quick math. It's real simple. Stay-home wife, 2 kids, and you got to make a minimum, absolute minimum. And this is not great when you're single without, you know, kids. Great when you got a significant other, but when you got kids, you got to make a minimum of 120, 150.
I was thinking that. You took that out of my head. Yeah, I was about to say.
120, 150. But remember, you want your wife to be stay-home mom, wife that takes care of you, food's on the table, all that good stuff. But at what cost? Because you're fucking, for you to make that 120, 150, unless you blew up, congratulations, my brother, I love you. And this goes to anybody in this situation. For you to make that type of money, that probably means you're overworking your ass off. That means you're putting in 10 to 12 hours a day. That means you're coming home off a 10-hour day, tired, exhausted. Are you being the best husband? Are you being a great father? Or did you kind of put that, you leaned it on well, I bring the money, that's my role. The rest of it is on her and the kids.
So I think it all comes down to communication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No,
I hope people learn that.
You know what I mean?
I hope by the time they're done watching this, it's communication.
It literally is. So at the end of the day, it's like at the end, you don't. So first, you don't need to work that many hours and overwork yourself to make that money. Obviously, work a little smarter. Yeah, as you get knowledge, however you envision your life, you could definitely work less and make double. So it just determines how much you're willing to put in and get out. But you can definitely make double the amount of money in less the time and less the effort, just smarter, depending on the moves and the access that depending on the moves you make and the access you allow yourself to when it comes to money. But that's a different conversation when it comes to financials. As far as the woman, so as your partner, if she is okay being at home with 2 kids and taking care of them, again, it's a matter of her like making that decision. Now, if you know your wife is ambitious and wants more out of your life, and now you are asking her to stay home and raise 2 kids, that's where it's wrong, because it doesn't align with what she wants. And that's where there's that conflict of interest, and she's always going to live a life of what if, but okay, yeah, I did this for my kids, and no, but he's a good husband, but no, that conversation alone, you're fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself. So if you're fighting yourself having that conversation, you're going against what you want just because your husband asked you to or your partner asked you to. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you are okay with being in a stay-at-home mom, you're like, man, all I want to do is stay at home and take it. Girl, that's what you want. That's exactly what you want. So you're put in that perfect position. But if that's not what you want and that's what your partner's asking for you, just realize the repercussions that come with it. I think that's what you're trying to say. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to say, because you're encouraging women, which is rightfully so, that if that's what you want, cool, go for it. I'm going to add a little bit more
sauce.
Yeah, you got to throw a little bit of Tabasco sauce in there so that they realize it's hotter than what you think. Don't just go for it and take it because the whole picture sounds good. Think about it. Woman, you're going to be home all day. These kids don't go to school until 4 and 5 years old. And once they do, now you take them to school and now you're home all day. Don't just think this motherly, wifely, this sounds great. Are you somebody very active? Do you want a little bit more in life? Do you feel a little bit less? Do you feel inferior because your man is doing this and you're that? Take all those things in consideration before you think this glamorous, I just sit back and be an awesome mom and awesome wife. Sounds good, but then it takes a toll on you because it's like, damn, I'm not doing anything though except being an awesome mom and an awesome wife.
I think it's also having that self-assessment beforehand, and then it's having a self-assessment beforehand with your partner while you're pregnant, while you're going into it, actually having the kids, raising them, and then self-assess again. It's just your life is constantly reassessing yourself based on your environment. How do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? How am I going to react about this? What do I think about this? Everything in life is happening around you, and then it's happening for you. And how it happens for you is through your reactions and what you are capable of doing. So when you're put in those positions, yeah, you might think that your life might be a certain way when you have kids, but you have to continuously reassess to say, well, I thought it was going to be this way and this is not what I expected, but what am I going to do about it now? How do I feel about it now? Now, if it's completely not what you expected, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Have life happen for you. Don't victimize yourself based on your situation. Now, obviously, if you think a solution is, I don't know, not being with your partner anymore and you think you can raise these kids on your own, okay. If you think a solution is, I'm just going to stick by my partner for the next 18 years and then after that I'm going to finally get a job, it is what it is. But you just have to be on board with what is happening in your life. And if you're not, you got to decide. You got to make a decision. You got to do something about it. You know?
What I try to, nowadays, what I find myself saying more often than not is, stop thinking that being together in an unhealthy or unhappy relationship is better for the kids.
Right.
Because it's not. That's something that nowadays I'm bringing up a lot more often. Whatever your reasons are for attempting this or dealing with this or going this route or that route, whatever, that's on you guys. But don't think, I don't want my child to grow up without a father, or the reason I stay with this person is because I want my kids to see two parents in one household. That's wrong, because if you guys are toxic and you're arguing, or they sense it, kids sense it. Yes.
You're showing them that that's okay.
And they're not seeing a fucking slap fest. They're seeing toxicity slowly but surely through their infant years and through their adolescent years. And then before you know it, you don't realize, why is Jimmy 14 and he fucking acts like this towards women, or Jasmine's 13 and she hates men, but she loves her daddy. And it's hard to understand, what was it? Well, it's because she witnessed the arguments all the time. She witnessed, the way you belittle her mother and so on and so forth. So I think people try to stretch that out too. I feel like they're doing it for the right reasons. They think it's better for the kids. No, it's not. It's not. Do the research. Do the research. It's completely out there. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, if there's too much arguing, if you at any point think, I'm going to deal with this for the sake of my kids, pull out.
Yeah.
Pull out.
I pull out before kids and then pull out of the situation after
kids. I wasn't trying to go there. But yes. Yes.
I think the main thing here to point out is that people in general, especially kids, really, you lead by example is what I'm trying to say.
Of course, 100%.
Kids and people, at the end of the day, you can be all talk, but if you're not doing anything, they're not going to believe you. And whatever you are doing, they're going to follow. So that goes in with kids, and that goes in life with in leadership. So you need to walk the walk, you need to talk the talk. So at the end of the day, if you look at your kids and say, you need to respect your mother, but then you're disrespecting their mother, you are associating respect with screaming at the mom. You know what I mean? So they're still learning. So you have to be very careful in what you do. You lead by example. So with anything that you do, with kids, with people, in a company, in life, anything, with your partner, so everything.
Well, let's talk about what you're leading into. So you're dancing. We know that's always going to be one of the biggest staples of what you're going on. And I imagine that at any given point, you can be called for any video. I want to talk about the possibilities of a movie. That's where I want to lead into. So I know that dance-wise for a video, maybe even for a movie, but dance-wise, you're on call. You now have the agency that you just started, technically an LLC for now, but it's going to become an agency. Yeah. What can we expect moving forward in regards to your modeling? You have this agility. You said it yourself. The right dancers, they're gymnasts. They're athletes. They do. And I totally agree. You guys can so easily transition with the right guidance into some type of fight choreography, some type of movie choreography, because you guys are used to being choreographed. You're used to the movements, the this, the that. Do you have that anywhere in the near future coming up? Any kind of movie scenes, TV scenes, anything that you're trying to shoot for right now?
That would be amazing. So the vision for the agency is going the commercial route. So anything with music videos, commercials, TV shows, of course, artist performances as well. So supporting artists, maybe going on tour with artists. But definitely the vision is more the industry commercial route. But that would be amazing to have dancers on a movie and a TV series represented by Abundance Agency.
But are you trying yourself to possibly try out for a movie role? Have you practiced that? Not that you have an acting coach, but are you willing to, hey, Jasmine, we just found out they're doing dance to this part 4.
Yeah, so if it's a dancing role, so the thing I love about
dancing, but with acting. I'm talking about with acting.
Oh, okay.
I don't want just a dancing role. I'm talking about you acting.
Personally, I can act, but personally, I haven't studied acting. I haven't dived into the role of acting like other people have. They've gone to like acting classes, etc. I haven't. But I love being in front of a camera. I love just playing a role. So a lot of dancers do dancing and modeling, dancing and videography, dancing and acting. So it's one of those things where it's like at the end of the day, they could do a dual role. They can act and then they can dance. However, for me, that's not what I'm capable of right now. Okay. If it's something that I want to do, that's something that I'll have to step into. I'll have to work on the skill.
Commit to it, right?
Right. I would have to commit to
But right now
acting,
you're focused on
dancing,
agency,
modeling,
right.
connecting people. Yeah, that's my focus.
A weird random question that's coming out of nowhere. You say you like to role play and all that stuff. Does that carry on to the bed? Do you put your man through that? Because your man might be like, I deal with my baby. She's this, she's that. But then she fucking walks into the bedroom and starts doing this fucking scene out of this 1986 movie. And I'm just like, woman, just get over here and make love to me. Like,
no, that's exactly what it is.
Because like, you guys are used to that. Maybe you maybe he likes that. Maybe he signed up to it. Or maybe he's weird about it and he can't tell you, like, babe, you don't got to dance your way into this. Just come over here and take that shit off, Like,
right. Honestly, I don't know. What happens behind the bed what happens in the bedroom is definitely between us. And I'd like to keep it that way for sure.
Okay, I can respect that. Side note then, do most women do that when they're into that type of shit? I think it's just hilarious that sometimes we don't get to disconnect from what we're so used to. They say that cops have some of the worst relationships because they don't know how to disconnect from all the drama, the harassments, what they deal with. They bring it home. And I'm sure that can work with anybody who's a nurse, a doctor, lawyers, stressful jobs, so on and so forth. But then you have the ones who are like, they're into this and they bring this home and they say, listen, I can accept you as that, but I don't do that on me. It's like I had a female one time in the past, a big TMI. I don't think I've ever said this on the podcast, but here she is. We're sexually activated and whatnot and all that bullshit. And we're like 20 minutes in. That's right, 20 minutes. And then out of nowhere, because we were drunk, I don't last that long unless I was. So she literally started talking to me, and I'm not all that big into the talking, unless it's more like personal, like I got some kind of feelings for you, whatever. But she starts talking to me, and she's like, "Hit me."
Oh.
And I'm over here trying to focus. I'm like literally trying to focus, like, oh my God, I'm spinning. This is great, but if I don't focus, this is never gonna end. And she goes, "You heard me, pussy?"
Oh my gosh.
Hit me. And I'm like, I look at her with one eye like, the fuck you say? Hit me, pussy. And I'm like, what the?
Does she know who she's asking? Like a professional fighter?
But this is why
why
she's asking me. This is why I'm bringing this topic up, because I assume
you know who I am?
Do I assume that people, they feel like, oh, this is what you're good at, and then they get weird with it. So I guess she got weird with it. She's like, well, she was obviously into that kink. And I'm like, did you just say hit me? She said, yeah, hit me, motherfucker. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that.
I'm your punching bag.
I told her, I said, I'm not into that. And you would think she would like take the hint and let it be. Oh, so you could just roll around half naked with a bunch of men? You could just punch a motherfucker in the head and whatnot, but you can't slap me, you pussy? And I'm looking at her. You would think I'd be turned on. Like, oh yeah. I'm like, this bitch, I want to punch her for real. Like, I was mad. I wanted to punch her for real. And I was like, hey, do you feel that? Because I was like going like soft. And she's like, because I was so turned off. I go, you feel that? That's because you're talking too much shit right now. You're about to fuck shit up right now. Like, I'm not into that. I don't know where this is coming from. Like, chill out. I'm drunk. You're drunk. Like, why are you messing this up? No, I just thought, well, like, oh, please, like, don't fuck it up. And we get back into the role things. As we get back into the role things, I'm mad now. Like, Jazz, I'm mad. I'm mad because, yeah, I got back whatever hard, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna finish. I'm just mad right now. I'm just looking at her like this shit is hard for nothing because I'm just mad. And she's doing her thing, and I in some weird way I was just like, it'd be so funny if I hit her out of nowhere right now.
Stop.
While she's not ready, if I just hit her out of nowhere, it'd be so funny.
KO.
Oh my gosh, it just hit her, and I'm literally looking around like, obviously there's nobody in my room, but I'm like, should I do this?
How are they gonna know?
Should I do? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One of those things, the Instagram meme things. They won't know. I literally thought, I wonder how she's gonna react. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. It took so much, and I was like, and I just gave her the weakest little bullshit slap, and she was like, "That's right, motherfucker." And I'm like, oh my God, this shit just got weirder than what I was trying to sign up for.
Oh my God.
I asked that because I just feel like, sometimes people feel like they need to live up to their significant others
fantasies
or occupation or physicalness, or they think, oh, you're a fighter, that means you must be into this. No, I'm not. I do that because I have to, not because I'm into it. So I just wonder about that because hey, you dancers, you're a little bit different,
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, like we definitely play a role whenever we're dancing, so we have to sell the part, we have to sell the character. I think again it's just dependent on what you and your partner want in the bedroom. So for me, I do too much acting when I'm dancing. Like the last thing I want is to be somebody else in the bedroom. I want to be as real as possible with my partner.
Nice.
Sure.
I like that. That's a good ass response. I like that. I like that. That makes total sense. Jazz, let's let everybody know what they can do to follow you. So you have your obviously your Instagram page. I'm assuming you have Twitter and all kind of other things, and then we want to hear about the agency and how people can reach out to you. So Instagram.
So Instagram is Jazzoom, JAZZ00M. And then the agency page is theabundanceagency.inc. I'm not really big on Twitter or any of the other social medias, but they're the same thing. It's
You're not doing
Zoom.
TikTok?
I'm doing TikTok is open. I do. I actually, that's one of my goals for this year, and I'm saying it in the podcast here to hold me accountable.
Yes.
One of my goals this year is to be bigger on TikTok, specifically for dance. So yes, Jazzoom also on TikTok, JAZZ00M.
And then the agency, is it up and running where somebody can reach out to you, or they should just go through the Instagram page and then go from there?
So there's an email there too. I try filtering everything through email. If you do DM me, we have a conversation over, but I'll always direct you to email because I do have a vision in the future where I won't be in charge of the social media. I won't be in charge of the emails. So, and I like to keep track, like a paper trail. I know, like, let's say something as simple as on Instagram, you can unsend messages. On your email, you can't, unless it's like within like 30 seconds in Gmail. However you set up
keeping it mad professional.
Exactly. So I like to keep a paper trail of everything, and that's kind of like where one of my strengths and my backgrounds is that yes, I was in corporate for a long time and I was living a double life, but I grabbed a lot of skills from that. So I don't feel like my time was wasted, because where, let's say, there's a dancer who got 6 years worth of dance training but nothing administrative, I got 6 years worth of administrative things, but right now I need to work on my skill. I need to work on like dancing, so I am training more. But yes, that's what one of the things is. Filter everything through email and keep a paper trail. So
is there anything specific that we can look forward to that's actually designated towards something in the future right now, or like any projects, anything specific?
Yeah, so obviously I have a couple of music videos booked. I try not booking myself for the music video. Obviously, if artists want my face on them, by all means, but I do push for my vision is to push for other talent to get their face out there for music videos, for artist performances, for everything. But by all means, if you want me, it is what it is. But I try giving the opportunity to others. Yes, we have music videos coming up, and we have a really big YouTube project coming up too. This is one of my personal projects, but it is gonna filter into the Abundance Agency page as well. So the Abundance Agency is 2 parts. So what I'm doing with it is that it's an agency where obviously you apply for it, you audition for it. It's, if I can represent you, by all means, tell me your goals and we'll see how I can help you as an agent to represent you in the dance world. So representation is one aspect, but the second aspect is information. So what I'm doing basically is every single day, I put daily dance classes of like industry commercial dance classes
Okay.
going on their Instagram page. Every single day I put on daily dance classes. And then taking it a step further with the information, I also have a Telegram. The link is on our Instagram bio and on my personal bio as well. We have a Telegram group where in that group I dive a little further of information. So all the classes will be there daily, but I also give community resources, audition information, gigs. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I am someone who loves to share information. And I've been on the receiving end where people are very secretive with the information, where at the end of the day it's like,
it doesn't seem like they want to help like
no,
so authentically.
No, it's not. And it feels really shitty when somebody doesn't want to help you because they think that you have a one up on them, when at the end of the day it's like, okay, if you think you have a one up on me, like if you think I have a one up on you, how do we fix this? Is it access to the information, or is it because you think I'm a better dancer? No, it's because I'm a better dancer. Oh, okay. So then how do you work on that? Be better. Take class. Work on your skill. But I'm the type of person that the information's still going to be out there. We're going to be in an even playing field. I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give you the auditions, the resources, the gigs. It's up to you to do the work. It's up to you to show up professionally with your resume, with your headshots, with your comp card, with your dance skill, with all of that. It's up to you. But I'm providing you an even playing field. You guys gotta go in for the kill, you know? So that group chat on Telegram kind of offers all of those resources. And the reason why I put dance classes there as well is because if you want to train on a Monday, these are all the studios and all the dance classes going on Monday.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing too, basically an opportunity to give information back to the community, because I believe in an informed and skilled community. So informed in these are all our resources, and skilled in, yeah, like we are dancers, we need to work on our dance training. Yeah.
Dope. I love it. So obviously don't just be a pretty face. Work on your skills.
Yes.
Set up for your future.
Yes.
Know that everything has a time limit, obviously, you know. No matter if you're this beautiful, that beautiful, and the minute you want to drop kids, especially 3 of them, whoo, my goodness, kiss it away. We'll see. We're gonna get a time lapse.
Yeah.
Not kids.
My kids growing up and shit.
but we definitely want to follow up with you the next time you come back around. But definitely great advice, and I appreciate you so much for coming on and telling us this story, this adventure, you know, of being a dancer. I'm very intrigued, and I love it. I love the fact that you've done so much with it. You've grown so much from it. You got great advice. I honestly felt like someone in your situation will be a lot more confused as to how to deal with men in relationships. You're very sturdy, and the key concept was communication.
Yeah.
Communication. That's just it. That is the key to a lot of things going the right way. Mm-hmm. Communicate enough, talk about it enough, you have clarity, and you can go from there. I love where you're going with your life, hon. I've known you, I think, about 4 years now, 4.5 years, somewhere around there. Since UFC gym started, you were one of the first ones over there. And to see you grow where you have and do what you do and get what you're at, it's amazing. I congratulate you. I hope the best with you and your man. We'll see.
Thank you.
We'll see. I don't want to say that it won't happen. I love a year in. Okay, let's see. I want to get you back in here 6 months later. You know, see what's that's going on. But we definitely wish you guys the best, and we'll follow up on this. Guys, make sure you show your love and support. Follow Jazz at JAZZOO00 M. So Jazzzoom. But it's actually Jazz00M.
Yeah.
But
it's okay. The thing is that I made this so long ago, and like people get it. Like they see me in person and they're like, Jazzoom, and I was like, yeah, exactly. It's not, whatever, it is what it is, you know? It's just a thing where I'm like, let it ride, it's fine, it's just a social media
I'd
name.
be like, zoom. I wouldn't know what the hell to do with it.
If someone sees me in person, it's like, is that Jazz00M? I'll be like, bro.
If somebody was like Black Sheep, I'll be like, like I don't even know what the fuck to do. Like I'll just get stuck right there. Like
I literally am just like,
yeah, exactly. Jazz, thank you for being part of the podcast.
Thank you.
Can't wait to have you back
me.
on. It's been awesome. It's been great. Guys, show your support. Make sure you go follow her. Don't forget Black Sheep Apparel. Go buy your gear. We got so much coming out. A lot more things coming out for the next month or so. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Peace.
Yes. Make sure to support you guys. You know, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you can do. Any of that is supporting. So if you can support it in any way, that would be great. Thank you guys.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.